The last video that I did, I was talking about the gut and the healthy cells in the gut and how they work, taking nutrients out of the food that people eat and into the blood, and these nutrients then heal and repair the body. The body is an amazing ability to heal and repair itself. And when I talk here about a leaky gut, a lot of people are concerned about a leaky gut, and when I talk about it, it's important to keep in mind that even if a person has microorganisms missing out of the intestine, or if there aren't, if there isn't a good foundation in nutrients in the diet, that once we have to know why we have a problem. And when we have the courage to look and see why we have a problem, we then know that there is a way out, that there's, and now that we're working directly with scientists from environmental and nutritional medicine and clean industry, we are now able to provide ourselves and people who are looking for answers with the right products that have that are highly effective, and once they go into the body, and a person then knows that they actually can heal and repair themselves. I suppose that's the one thing that has been driven into people's mind, is that physical and mental diseases are irreversible. Most of them are reversible. We can get our life back again. And, we just have to just learn and just tackle it. And it's much, much simpler than once thought. I mean, years ago when I was trying to help people and myself and my family, it was challenging to find solutions. But now that we are working directly with scientists and clean industry, we now know that it's a step-by-step approach that we can take and we can reverse. So I hope nobody gets frightened by this video, because I think fear has driven people to despair. I think fear, now we need to eliminate fear and come back and find joy and new life. So I wrote there at the top that can be reversed. Now naturally, if somebody has part of the bowel removed, that can't be reversed, but normally speaking, disease in the bowel can be reversed, and I will talk about them in a few of the next. I'll talk about conditions of the bowel in a few more videos, and you'll see that it's the same solution in every situation. And so when we see a leaky gut, this is what scientists are able to show us. Over here we have, as I explained yesterday in the short video, what healthy cells look like. And these cells have a lifespan. So they, like every other cell in the body, they need nutrients in the blood to replace these worn out cells. As they get worn out, they begin to die off. And what happens when the body is healthy, they are replaced with nice healthy cells. But of course, if there isn't good nutrients and essential nutrients in the body, that's where you get cell degeneration. And that's where a lot of degenerative diseases come from with the rest of the body. It's when the cells begin to break down. So here, what's missing, you'll see what's missing here from yesterday's video, is the micronutrients are missing. The good bacteria are missing in the bowel to break down these particles of food. These here are representing particles of food. And then what happens, the food is, when the cells then begin to break down and the food is not digested properly, broken down properly, food particles are able to enter into the blood system. And again, bacteria goes into our body, as I explained yesterday. So if there's no microorganisms in the bowel to keep these at bay, viruses and bacteria, then there's a leak in the bowel, and they too can enter into the blood system. And this is what causes havoc in disease today. So rather than the doctors going back, I mean, ordinary GPs or consultants, you know, well, they're not allowed, of course, because of the pharmaceutical driven training they've been under. And so they don't look at this problem at all. So with the science that we've been educated with, the scientists are looking at cell activity. So here again, inflamed cells get inflamed and they die off, and the problems in the bowel gets worse. As I said in the past few minutes, the undigested food doesn't get broken down, and that passes into the blood. Bacteria and toxins, and they can enter into the blood very easily. So protecting our bowel and looking after our bowel and what we put into it is very important. It's not just enough to say something tastes good, or you know, it's on a shelf that we can just put it into our body. That's not true. We must be discerning. We must have knowledge about what is healthy and what isn't healthy to get the best from our health. And from this condition here, people don't realise that there is a connection between the digestion and the brain. So again, toxins and viruses and bacteria and food particles and even from vaccinations, ingredients from vaccinations can travel in the blood, and they can not only cause disease in the physical body, but they also can contribute to mental diseases. So that's the blood-brain barrier. Malabsorption with the food. Again, the food is not broken down because there are no micronutrients there to break it down, and also the breaking down of the food. So the food isn't broken down, so when it goes into the blood, it's of no use to the body. It has to be broken down. The nutrients have not been taken out of it. Food intolerance is also a major problem, and it's, an awful lot of people go to expense of going and having a food tolerance test done, and they say, okay, you're intolerant, and they say, oh, your body is intolerant, we'll say, to wheat, or your body is intolerant to whatever else, there's pollen or whatever that pollen might be getting through. And they say, okay, so you must be careful with the pollen and you must avoid wheat. So you can avoid wheat, but then after a while then the leaky gut is still continued, so other problems can occur. So you might not be eating bread, but that doesn't eliminate the problem. The problem can only be eliminated by going back and getting the essential nutrients in to repair the worn out cells, and the bacteria, the healthy bacteria, must go in order to do its work and protect anything from going into the blood. Local inflammation, autoimmune diseases, disease upon disease upon disease can occur from this. So that's what has happened, is the foundation has been broken, health foundation. And what's missing is essential nutrients and microorganisms. And in today's world, we need to go back and put that in, because it's like a house. Every house is built on a foundation. And if the house hasn't got the right foundation, what will happen is there'll be cracks and problems. No point in trying to repair the house or the rooms of the house. You must go back and you must address the foundation. It's the same with the tree. You don't see, a tree growing in the garden. It is growing into the soil. It's got strong roots. It's got a good foundation. And it's the very same thing with us. We need to go back, and the foundation is the same over and over and over again, no matter what disease. So it's the same problem being repeated over and over and over again. But again, I will do a video as well, because for me, even though I have spent years learning all of this, I would not be able to do this if I didn't have clean industry behind me. because clean industry, we can have knowledge, but when people get knowledge, whether they read it in a magazine or the paper or the doctor or a therapist or whatever, they can then rush out and they can say, oh, I need essential nutrients or I need probiotics, and they can buy the first thing that comes up on the shelf, or maybe they might even look for the best one they can find. And at the end of the day, they may be just useless because they may not have the science in them. We have to know that we have the scientists giving the knowledge to clean industry, and clean industry are educating customers and providing us with the right nutrients. And so it's a cycle where we all take care of each other, from the scientist to industry to the customer, and then we can reach out to others. So really it is a cycle of life, a cycle of healing is our foundation. So if this is, don't let this be disturbing, because no matter what, I think the great and the exciting thing about it is that if somebody, I know for me anyway, would say, okay, there's a problem there. Well, we can, a bit like doing interior design in the house, which I love doing. I love decorating the house. But I'd say, okay, there's a problem here. We can go back in, and once we know that the foundation is in, we can decorate and redecorate the house and keep it up to date or whatever way we like it. Our health is the very, very same. Once we know every single human being on the planet needs the essential foundation, and when the foundation is right, we then can dress our body up. We can any way we like, but the foundation must be there. So don't be scared, don't be frightened. Fear has driven people to do terrible things, and fear can drive people to make their situation worse. We have to eliminate the fear. We have to become knowledge driven. Find out, do not be scared to find out. And the solutions are there. And we are reaching out to people, and that's why we're able to do social media, is because we have no restrictions or boundaries. We are regulated, of course, but there are no boundaries. We can speak the truth. Your doctor has the boundaries of the pharmaceutical-driven industry. Pharmacists are the same. Therapists are the same. They're all restricted within the organisation, the sickness organisation that they're attached to. But we're connected to the wellness industry, and they are allowing us to pass on knowledge that has been buried from the unsuspecting public.